The ostriches. They were terrible to work with. At the end, it was very cold, and yeah, they were really awful. The first time we saw them, we were like really scared because they're like huge animals with like, claws like this. And it was the last day we were shooting, and this guy next to me was telling Jeroen and me, just go stand in front of them. They're just ostriches, and we were like, no, you go stand in front of them. And suddenly when he said action, those animals, they wouldn't come to us, so they turned around because they were making a lot of noise behind of them because they didn't want to come out of their cages. They turned around and they start running towards him, and he was like the first to run. He was like a mile away.
I was looking at my screen and said, where are those damn ostriches? And I looked to the right like a Jurassic Park moment. I was like, oh no, there they are. And I just started running. It's awful.
So tell us about your inspirations for this. I mean, this is not the land of free-flowing chocolate Godiva.
No.
You know, this is, but all not trying to be funny. This is, you know, this is a fringe. You know, these are fringe people. You know, we may not feel safe walking around them. Tell us about your inspiration.
I always wanted to make crime dramas. I grew up watching the you know, stuff like Mean Streets or Coen Brothers or whatever, and or European like La Haine or stuff like that. But if you want to do a crime drama where I'm from, you're not going to do Italian gangsters. You know, you'll make a fool out of yourself. So I looked to the world where I grew up in, and these were the kind of people that I grew up with, and I felt there was nobody ever made a movie about them because, you know, it's not. If you look at these guys, you certainly think that was Oscar material. If you look at these guys, so I was very intrigued by the music that they listened to, the way they talked, the way they dressed, and the stuff. And I was always thinking like, this could be if I use that world and make it my own. That's how I got inspired to tell the story. Yeah, the writing was very tough for me because I had never written anything before. And I had to like delve into all the how to write a screenplay in Act 1 and Act 2. I did not know what that was, you know. So yeah, so for me it took me a long time. And this movie is actually loosely based on a theater play, written by Jeroen. And it was basically three guys, not even brothers, all set on one location bearing a body. And that was the only thing that I knew, and that's how I wanted to do it from the start. But then I started realizing I can't make it work like this, so I wrote the backstory of the characters, and in the end, the movie has kind of become the backstory of what happened before they got there. So yeah, it took me 3.5 years to write the screenplay.
One of the moments that sticks with me in the movie is when she's in her rehab group and just recounts her whole struggle. To me, I mean, that to me was very. It was very raw. It was very emotional. It reminded me of like a great moment in The Sopranos. Yeah. Talk about that.
Well, it's interesting because you know Verle, who is the biggest actress in Belgium. You know her from The Broken Circle or something. I wanted her for the part, and I sent her the script, and it said I love the script, but this like the female character, it's very underwritten, and I don't want to do it. And I was like, oh. She's right, you know. So I called her and said, just give me 2 weeks to rewrite it. And then that was the biggest challenge in the whole writing process. Like, it's easy to talk about guys and spit macho dialogue and stuff like that. When you have to write a female character, you really have to challenge yourself because, you know. And then I locked myself up and I started thinking, okay, what is she like? What is she like? And then it just came. I wrote the whole part of the female in like 2 days, and that's something I'm really proud of, actually. So yeah, it was. That's one of the great things about writing, that you think you can do more than you think you can. So yeah, I'm also proud of that scene.